Okay, all right. Looks like we are live here. I'm waiting for everybody to join us. Hello, everybody. I am Jen, if you are tuning in right away. I'm excited to get our live today going. I'm just gonna sit here, kind of sing to myself, look at my magic man in the background, all weird to make them uncomfortable. Hello, all right, I see we have some people joining. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Oh, here we go. Numbers up, numbers up. Good afternoon. It is the afternoon, right? What time is it? 3 p.m. my time, Eastern time. 3 p.m. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, it is. Good afternoon to everybody that is joining. West Coast to East Coast. It is 3 p.m. here in the Charlotte area. I hope you're having a wonderful middle of your week. I'm here. I see everybody saying hello. Ooh, hello from Texas. Hello from Texas, Miss Kay there. I see you. Yes, ma'am. Kentucky. Yes, Oklahoma. Hello. How you doing? I am ready to get started. Woo. All right. I'm glad to be doing this now because now I have a lot of energy. Before I was kind of like, oh, that midday little slump. But now it looks like we are ready and raring to get going. Welcome, welcome everybody who is joining us. I see everybody hopping on. Okay, you guys seem to like these live stitch outs here. I'm just going to do a quick time check to see where we're at. If you're just joining, I'm just kind of waiting for more people to jump on. I don't want anybody to miss, but if you are wondering what we're stitching out, hopefully you know, but if you're wondering, we are going to be stitching the very lovely tea bag bookmark, Anita's Express tea bag bookmark, specifically that yellow one right there that says just my cup of tea. I will be stitching along with all of y'all today. Our lovely little tea bag bookmark. This is gonna be fun. I haven't done one of our live stitch outs yet, so I'm really excited. A lot of you always ask me at events if I get a chance to stitch, but with all my travel, it's really hard. So I'm excited to be joining all of you and give you some little tips and tricks along the way. Okay, we got 3:02 on the clock here. Pennsylvania, hello. Ooh, hello from the UK. All right. Going international. Yes, I like it. Connecticut. Welcome, everybody. Traverse City, hi. Oh, my goodness. Hello, Miss Diane. Yes. Oh, it's been a while. I'm so glad everybody's joining us. Love it. I love this. Okay. Hope you're all having a nice little Wednesday. Again, we're going to be stitching out our tea bag bookmarks. I'm going to get you started here in a moment. I could probably get rolling, actually. Yeah, I think so. We got a lot of people who have joined. So, yeah, it's been about 3:03. All right, I'm going to get us going here. Welcome, everybody, to our live stitch out. Today, we are going to be stitching out the Anita's Express tea bag bookmarks. If you didn't see me show this just a few minutes ago, we're going to be stitching out the Just My Cup of Tea guy there, that one in the yellow. And to get us started, if you're stitching along with me and following along in your Express and whatnot, or if not, I'm going to be giving you little tricks, tips and tricks along the way, and show you things to look for and how to really use our tutorials as we go. In the Anita's Express, though, you're always going to get your little materials and notions list. So if you're kind of wondering what you need, that's already going to be there. Size will be there. Any other materials you might need will be there. For this one particular, we're going to need to use a piece of ribbon. We're also going to need to use a template. So the tea bag bookmarks, my goodness, I keep forgetting what we are stitching out. This is going to be fun. These tea bag bookmarks ask you, or will tell you, the instructions is going to tell you to print out a template, and it's our tea bag bookmark tag template. If you noticed in that picture, there is this smaller tag right here. We're going to use a template to prep that. And that's really how we are going to get started here. Now, you'll notice that once you open up the design, whether it's download or if you have the all access CD and you're opening up from there, you're going to see inside of your file that you have a little template in a PDF form. And you can just go ahead and print that off. It's going to look something like this when you do print that. We're going to shape this into our smaller tag. There is something really, really important for you to know. And I've learned along the way how much y'all love to read our instructions, whether they are there or not. But our tag here, or I'm sorry, our template, you're going to need to print that out. It's going to tell you in the instruction that you want to make sure that you're printing that template out at 100% scale. So you want to make sure that you type that 100 into your prompt. So when you go to print, there's going to be like a little prompt box that pops up, and there's going to be some more like specific settings. And within those specific settings, you're just going to go ahead and make sure that you fill in that 100% scale in order to print out your tag template at accurate size. If you don't do that, your tag might not be the exact size that it needs to be, and you'll definitely be able to notice that either when you finish the tag or while you're halfway through, of course. So what I'm going to do now, and you can just join me, is I'm going to really just cut this out. So I'm going to use this as my little template. I'm going to cut this out. I can sometimes get really particular, so I'm going to try to do this so that I'm not being a super perfectionist. When you are cutting in these little divots, the other thing too, I noticed actually, when I ran these the first time, where am I here? Let me go this other way. These little divots, I like to really, that little triangle that goes, that little inset, I like to really cut that out as perfect as possible, because it's just going to make, in my opinion, it makes the tag look much nicer in the end, a little bit more professional, I guess you could say. So I'm going to try to get as perfect as I can with those. And then, there we go. I'm going to keep cutting that out, blah, blah, blah. I almost wish this was a little bit like the Rachel Ray cooking show, where she'd start going and then, you have like a little sous chef or something that helps you along. I'm looking at like my person in the background, like, why didn't you give me a tag template already? I got to cut this out. Okay, so I'm almost done here cutting this out. All right, so now when you're finished, you're going to need to take a piece of fabric. Now we're going to be using a felt fabric because felt does not fray, and this the tea bag at the end has a little bit of a, it's going to be more raw edge finish. So you want a nice clean finish. So the felt fabric really helps you to achieve that. And it just gives it a little bit more, the felt is thicker than regular cotton fabric. So we just like the look and that kind of style once that was complete. So what I'm going to do next is trace my template onto a piece of fabric. So I have my little piece of fabric here. I'm going to take my tag template, lay it down, and I'm going to trace it. Now, typically, I'm kind of cheating here. I wouldn't normally use a Sharpie marker. I am going to use it so you can just see what it looks like once I'm done tracing. But typically, I would use you could use like a fabric marker, or you can, they have the ones I think that you draw and they sometimes disappear, little invisible ones. And then sometimes I even use like Taylor's chalk as well. But here I go. I'm going to just trace that on. Hopefully this will go on pretty quickly. So if you're following along, get your tag templates printed out. Hopefully you already have that printed out. And just a reminder, as I'm tracing this, I'm realizing how very bad I am at trying to trace this and talk to all of you at the same time. So this is fun. But as I'm tracing this, what I do want to remind you all is, if you have not picked up the Tea Bag Bookmark collection, you can pick that up today for $10 off of its original price. So typically these would be $29.95. They are $10 off today until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 8:59 p.m. for all you West Coasters out there. You will be able to get the tea bag bookmarks for $19.95. So you want to hop on over to our website, and then you can type in the tea bag bookmarks into the search, and off you go. Help yourself to the lovely little tea bag bookmark collection. Okay, now from here, you know how this works. I'm going to trace my little, let me make sure you can see this. Actually, maybe I'll put it right up here, nice and close. Let's see if I can get in there. Yep. So I've traced my little template there. Now we're just going to cut it out. So I'm going to use my fabric scissors. I'm going to cut this out. Just remember those insets. Really, you really want to give yourself that pronounced, let's see here. You really want to give yourself that pronounced triangle that you're seeing here and on that opposite side. That's the one thing to pay attention to when I'm cutting out this little template here, is giving myself that pronounced triangle. I'll actually cut out the rectangle first, and then what I do is work on the triangles last, because again, I can get a little bit, I can be a little bit of a perfectionist with this sometime, and it sometimes can take me a little extra because I want to make sure that it's perfect. Now, I don't want to hold everybody up here, so I'm going to do the best that I can. So don't judge me later on when my tag does not look perfect. All right, so I'm almost done cutting my tag out. I actually might, I got this. Y'all talk to yourself when you sew sometimes, when you're kind of like, ooh, don't do that. Oops, yep, do that. Here we go. Okay, so no, I don't see, here I go. I don't like the way that looks. All right. Okay, now the next part of this, what we want to do is we're going to make this little hole section, right? So in order to do that, oh, one thing I want to back up to now. So because I used a Sharpie marker, maybe you don't have like a fabric marker at home or something. If you do happen to use like a marker and you want to hide it, this next part is where you can do that. So I have the Sharpie side is facing all of you now. I'm going to kind of, what you can do is just fold it Sharpie side together when you're ready to place it later on in the design. Right now, what we need to do is we need to make this hole that's going to go kind of in the center right here. And I'm going to hold this up close so you can see it too. So I'm going to make a small little hole right above my like thumb fingernail there. To do that, I'm almost going to wrap this, I'm going to fold this in half. I'm going to fold my felt tag template in half. And then what I will do is I'm going to make a little, whatchamacallit. Ooh, let me get you right here so you can see that. Okay, so I've folded this in half here. I'm going to make a tiny little snip like right here, because in a little bit, when I'm stitching the design out, I'm going to feed a string in there. That's going to help create the bookmark. So what you want to do is just be careful that you don't end up cutting the little template in half. You just want to do the best that you can to get a little snip in there. So if you want to be very careful, make your snip and then kind of look and see how big the hole is. You can see, let's see if you can see that on. Oh yeah, you can. See that little hole there? I'm going to make that little snippet. So of course you don't want to cut all the way through. You just want to get a little bit of an area. And you can test it out. You know, if you have your string, I have my string right here. I can test it out to make sure that, yeah, that's going to see how that, well, you can't see that because I don't have it held up to you. You can see that my string's going to fit right through there. So you're able to kind of test that as you go. All right, so at this point, I am ready to get us going with our design. Tag's finished. I'm just going to kind of fold that down here. So I have my little tag. I'm going to set that off to the side so that is ready for me in a little bit. And now we're ready to rock and roll with the actual design. So the first thing you're going to do is hoop your tearaway stabilizer. We're going to be using tearaway stabilizers to give us a nice stiff dimension for the bookmark project. I'm going to, of course, use, and many of you, if you've been doing this for a while, are probably practicing the same thing, using a hoop that is closest in size to the project. That's really your best practice whenever you're working on a project or working on embroidery, working on something that's in the hoop. You want to use your embroidery hoop that is closest in size to the project that we're completing. Now this one's fairly small. It would definitely fit in, I believe it will fit in, let me just check the size and chart. I don't want to be lying to you. Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Magic Man in the back there. It will definitely fit in your 4x4 hoop, which I believe this is what we're using right now. Yeah, we got a 4x4 here. Okay, so once you're hooped, you're ready to go. Make sure your design is all loaded. I'm gonna get us rocking and rolling here. So I am going to start the design. Now the first portion of the design is going to be a placement stitch. This placement stitch is also going to stitch out a little marked area. It's going to be at the top right along center, and it's going to, you can see it stitching out right now. It's going to come down towards me in, what's that, vertical? Yep, horizontal, vertical. Going back to my elementary school teacher ways, horizontal, vertical. So you have this vertical marking stitch that's stitching out. That marking stitch we will use to place our string. So that's really nice. We don't have to guess. We don't have to figure out where the center is. That's already built right into the design for you. Moving on from here, the next thing I'm going to do is add my string. So you can get creative with the string that you're using. We're using this fun piece of, it's almost like, it reminds me of like Christmas string where it's the two-tone. This one's gray and white, but they have all sorts of different colors. You can use ribbon, you can use twine. I'm sure you all have some really great ideas in terms of the different pieces of ribbon or string that you're using. So when I place this, I'm just gonna line it up right on that vertical line. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is add a piece of tape, because I don't want that to come off. This will help align it. This will keep it nice and secure. If you're not familiar with the pink tape's great. It's embroidery tape. It is meant for these exact types of projects. You can use the pink tape, you can use the pink tape all day. So if you're working on one project all day, the intent is for you to be able to use it throughout the entire day of your project making. So you don't have to waste tape and you're not constantly going through it. So I really like using that. The next thing I'm gonna do is place my base fabric. I wanna make sure that here's my piece of base fabric here. I'm gonna place that with the right side facing up. If this were directional, I'm using felt, so I can of course put any side up. Now, if you're following along in the steps of the Bag Bookmarks tutorial, I am specifically looking at step K, and I want to point out that there is a really important note here. And the note is telling us that we only want to overlap the left edge here of the placement stitch with only a 1/4 inch of fabric, because that smaller tag that we just prepped a moment ago will actually stitch right next to it here. So we don't want all this fabric over on the left side. So we want to place our base fabric again, right side facing up. We only want a smidgen, covering no more than 1/4 inch. That might be a little bit too much. Only want 1/4 inch kind of placed past that left side. And then once that's ready, I'm gonna go ahead and run my tacking stitch. If this is one of the first Anita Good Design collections you're stitching out, one thing that we always do, you may have heard some of our educators talk about this if you go to the Anita Good Design events, is our tacking stitches will stitch out twice. So you'll see it go around in one direction and then it's gonna come back around in the other direction. That gives you a nice, secure tacking stitch there. All right, so the next part is the fun part, because this is where we get to play with the colors. This is where we get to stitch out the design portion of the Bag bookmark. We're gonna stitch out the words that say just my cup of. So I'm going to remove my thread. I'm gonna re-thread my embroidery machine here. So while I'm doing that, you can go ahead and do the same thing. And as I am rethreading my machine, I'm also going to remind everybody again that you can get the Tea Bag Bookmark Collection at $10 off on our website. So head on over there. Tea Bag Bookmarks is going to be priced at $19.95 with that $10 off, and you will be making yourself some tea bag bookmarks in no time. These are really great. You know, it is just about holiday season. So, I mean, we aren't in the holiday season. I feel like Thanksgiving is, oh my gosh, when is that?
2 weeks.
Tomorrow. 2 weeks. So the tea bag bookmarks, this is a fairly quick project. I forgot to kind of mention that at the beginning. And the one thing that I really like about the quicker projects is they make great gifts. So as I mentioned, holiday season is coming up. If you just don't know what to get for somebody and you're thinking of something to make, the tea bag bookmarks are excellent. There, I believe, are 10, I think there's 10 different bookmarks. I don't know if you can confirm. Is it 10 or 12? I think it's 10 different bookmarks in this collection. You can literally make all 10 in a day's work, and boom, you have 10 really unique and personalized bookmarks for friends or for family. So, you know, it's just a really great little project that you're gonna have fun stitching out. They look like little tea bags when they're done. So if you know a tea drinker and you know a book lover, these are just perfect little gifts for them. Another thing I wanted to remind you about was we have something new for everybody that we are taking pre-orders on, and that is our 2021 wall calendar. Now you can find that on our website. If you head over to AnitaGoodDesign.com, go on into that search bar or type up into that search bar. You can even just start typing in wall calendar, and that's going to pop up. Now I do want to mention the wall calendar I'm talking about right now is completely different than this current month's all access book. There is a calendar collection in there. It is not the same. They're two completely different beings. So the one I'm talking about is a wall calendar. You'll be able, you know, to flip that every month. You can write on that. It's going to feature some of the favorite Anita Good Design collections. There are some designs in there for you. You can pre-order those right now through, what was it, the end of November, right? End of November. You can pre-order the wall calendar through the end of November for $24.95. All right.
We have some questions.
Oh, we have some questions.
What kind of thread are you using, or what weight?
Oh, I'm using the Floriani. It's just the normal 40 weight embroidery thread. Yeah. So, and that's pretty much what you're going to find if you're shopping at your dealer location. That's what's going to be on the racks there. Yeah, absolutely. Another one. Do we have another one?
I think that was. They were asking if you were using micro thread. I
am not using micro thread, and that is a great question because oftentimes for those of you who might be stitching out this type of design for the first time, or maybe this is your first design ever that you're stitching out, micro thread is a much thinner thread than what I'm currently using. You know, I mentioned I'm using like the 40 weight. The micro thread, I think it's like a 60 weight. It's thinner than this, and it's often used when you are stitching out font, like different lettering and whatnot. But this is digitized just perfectly, so you can use you could use the embroidery thread that you have at home. But just a little tip. Little trick there. All right, so I'm moving on to the next word here. So now I'm on we should all be on, if you're following me, we're on step 4. Step 4 is the word tea, so I'm going to move on to that and keep going. Normally I have to stand up to thread it, but I'm being on my best behavior today, trying to teach all of you and do all the things. All right, here we go. Off we go. And T is stitching out. Oh, of course. My machine did not thread. Love that. Let's try again. My fault. Okay. Is it time yet? Is it time yet, Magic Man? You know what I mean? Is it that time? Okay, here we go. Let's let's try this again. Ooh, actually, you know what? Yeah, I should be good. Okay, so T-stitching out. Off we go. Now, if you're stitching this out for the first time, I hope you're enjoying this so far. The stitching actually comes out quite beautifully. It's really well digitized. I'm sure a lot of you really know the quality of design that Anita Goodesign does produce. I think I picked the wrong color. Do you ever do that? Thread the wrong color, realize, oh man, I threaded the color. I didn't want to use that color. That's fine. It's okay. We're here for the learning opportunity. Yeah, I kind of got that.
There is a question about if this
next question.
If the video will be posted to our website.
The video. Okay. The next question is, will the video be posted to our website for you to watch? And the answer is yes, of course. So this video is going to be posted after. Does it get posted? Did it posted right away? I'm assuming
fairly close.
Fairly quickly. Fairly quickly. Okay. So
are you using a topper?
I am not. So the question was, are you using a topper? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Someone's shouting the questions to me and then I'm answering them, and I am just assuming y'all can hear what the question was. But the question that was asked is if I am using a topper, and no, I'm not. Felt really, I haven't really had to use topping with the felt that I use. Your typical craft felt it's not super high fibrous, so I'm staying away from using a topper on this one. It's definitely not necessary. You're going to be able to read the words very clearly. You're going to see the design very clearly. Don't make fun of me for my little thread tail that got caught in there. I had trouble with the threading of the machine.
Do you think metallic threads would work with them?
Okay, next question was, do I think metallic threads would work with this? Okay, how about this? I absolutely love metallic threads. So absolutely, you could definitely use metallic threads when you are stitching out this design. And you know what? Even if you do not know if metallic threads will work or not, try it anyway. You know, if you like to experiment, if you like to get creative, I say go for it. Why not? But they'll definitely work. They'll definitely work for this. I actually think that would look really nice. I love a good bling. I love a good bling in my designs. I always have some type of gold, some type of metallic, some type of fun goldy blingy fabric whenever I'm working on a project, right? It's the best. Diamonds aren't the girl's only best friend. Gold is too. Okay. All right. Now, don't forget, if you're kind of tuning in just now, our Bag Bookmark collection is going to be $10 off on our website. So you're able to download that for $19.95. And that price is going to be good until this evening at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just make sure that you're kind of paying attention to the East Coast time if you're thinking about picking this up later on. All right, I'm almost done with my embroidery portion. And like I mentioned, this part's the fun part. For those of you, actually, I just thought about this. I should have told y'all this earlier. What are these? Are these little leaves? Did you know? Use a lighter green. All right, for those of you, I'm going to show you in a minute here. If you're wondering what threads we're using, our instructions will also give you that information. And I'll show you where you can find that. Let me just get this going here. Almost forgot to thread the needle. That would help. Okay, off I go. All right, so you'll notice at the end of the Anita's Express, you're going to have the design pages, right? Your design pages are going to show you the design. They're going to show you the design file name, and then they're going to show the numbered steps. Now, those numbered steps are going to correspond with the number machine steps that it'll take to complete the design. Now, you'll also notice that there are some numbers written next to each of the instruction numbers. It might say something like 198, 396, 2013. Those are the thread colors that we are using. And I don't have the first page of the steps with me because I'm just using the steps of the design I'm talking about. But on the very first page of the steps, up in that corner up here, your left-hand top corner, it's going to tell you the type of threads that we used, and then it's also going to give you every color that we've used as well. So you can follow right along with those colors, or if you know, you can convert those because you can have your thread conversion, which you can find all over the internet. Most of you probably have them already. Those will be good to go, and you can use those to kind of figure out which threads to use as well. But if you want to take the easy gravy train, you can just follow along with our instructions because we tell you exactly what we've used. All right, I'm getting ready to remove this from my machine here. I want to take my hoop off because I'm going to add fabric to the back side at this point. So to do so, let me get this here so that you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to take my next piece of fabric. Oops, I cut the wrong color. I wanted to use another yellow, but oopsies, I cut two red. That's okay, that's fine. So I'm going to place my piece of fabric again. If this is directional, I'm going to place it right side facing up. I'm still using felt here, so there's no direction. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm covering the entirety of the design on the back. So you can't see that right now. The fabric's covering it. That's how I know that my fabric is placed well and precise. And then I'm just going to go through and put some tape on all. I'm going to put tape on all four sides. I want to make sure that it's nice and snug. I don't want it to come off while it's stitching. So don't be afraid to tape all four sides down. Oh my goodness, my perfectionism is coming out.
Lots of questions on what kind of felt we're using.
Ooh, the type of felt that we are using. Oh, hang on. I got it. Wow. I know the type, but it just went in my head and it went in one ear and out the other. My goodness, where did we get this from? We are just using regular craft felt that we purchased from felt.com.
It's not wool felt, correct?
No. This is I had another question that was, are we using wool felt? No, it is not wool felt. This is just regular craft felt. Now, we do have two kinds of, we do have two types of felt. We have, I'm going to run while I'm answering this, I'm going to run hang on, folks. I want to change my my thread again. We do have two types of craft felt. It's either acrylic, fabric.com. Felt.com has like acrylic felt, or they have like rayon felt, and the quality is a bit better than like the craft felt that you would find at typical craft stores. So that's why I really like to use that. You'll notice that like the weave or the fibers, in my opinion, on this felt, it's like woven a bit tighter, so it just has a nicer look to it. The appeal is much better. And again, you don't have to use you won't have to worry about using a topping on it. You don't have, my goodness, why doesn't this want to do that? You're not going to have to use the micro thread with these designs. Hang on, I got to concentrate. It's like when you're driving the car and you get close to where you're going and you turn your stereo down, like that's going to help you find the place. I got to be quiet when I'm trying to thread this machine. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to run the tacking stitch, and this is going to secure my fabric that's on the back to the design or to my project. Off we go. And again, it's the tacking stitch, so hang on.
Didn't like that.
Nope, it just like something. All right, let me just fix this for a second. They probably just want some TLC from me, which is fine. Make sure everything feels okay. Looks good. Let me just rethread. Aha! I'm hoping that was what it was. Ooh. See, earlier, did you hear me say that I normally stand up to thread my machine? And I've been sitting down. I think I didn't have it where it needed to be. Let me just back up so that I'm gonna have to concentrate for a second. Most of you will understand, I know. Yeah. Sometimes when I'm filming these, I'm like, oh man, I gotta keep talking the whole time. But then I'm like, no, concentrate. So we can get this going. Okay. Am I threaded? No. All right, we should be back in business now. Here we go. Okay, so we are tacking on that back fabric. We just have a few more steps and then we're gonna be, oh yeah, this sounds much, much better. Okay, get that going. Again, tacking stitch goes around one direction. It's gonna come back around in another direction. It's really gonna secure that fabric into place. So you're not gonna have to worry about anything falling apart. Not one bit. And off we go. Almost done, almost done, almost done. So is anybody using these for anything? Anybody using the, do you have a plan in mind? Are you giving these to someone? Are you making them for yourself? Ooh, are you book club? Does anybody have, that's a good idea. Book club, you can make gifts for all your book club friends. Do I want to change? Yes, I do. All right, so the next step, I'm ready to move on. I'm going to cut my thread out. I'm going to rethread. I'm going to rethread so that I match my smaller tag. So my smaller tag is that red piece of felt. So I'm going to pull the red thread that matches it. That's what I'm going to use next. And my next step is going to be a placement stitch for my smaller tag. So I'm all locked and loaded here. You can see that this is about to stitch out. See how this part is going to stitch right out. I'm so can't see back there. It's going to stitch right out next to my larger of the two tags. So earlier when I mentioned we want to make sure that our base fabric isn't too far over to the left. This is exactly why. So you don't want it to get caught, or you don't want this little marking stitch for our smaller tag to get caught on that base fabric there. All right, now I'm just being kind of OCD and I want to make sure everything looks nice here. So I'm going to move that out of the way. All right, so let's get our tag going. And from here, what we're going to need to do is we want to fold that in half. So just as a reminder, I have to do this up here. I don't like working with that little camera for some reason. Okay, so I use Sharpie marker on mine. What I want to do is fold the pieces so the Sharpie markered sections are touching each other. That way you're not going to be able to see that. I'm going to be able to hide that. So if you didn't have like some fancy tailor's chalk or fabric marker and you're just kind of using something that you have around the house and you want to hide it, you're able to do the same thing. I just kind of clip mine so it looks a little bit nicer. And I'm looking for my string, and I just remember that it's attached already. I thought I lost it. Woo, hello. Okay, what we need to do now is feed the loose end of the string through that little notch that we cut in between those two inset triangles earlier. So you can see that if you're working with the design steps, if you're using the tutorial, we are on step S. So I'm going to go ahead and pop my, my string through my little inset. Hopefully you can see me doing this. Okay, perfect. And I'm going to leave, what do I got here? I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch of it kind of inside. You can see that right here. I got 1/4 inch of that just kind of hanging down from that little insert that I made, and I can fold that smaller tag in half. And then at this point, I'm going to place the tag, the small tag, so that it aligns with the top edge of that placement stitch we just stitched out. So from here, I can kind of just eyeball. I'm going to just align it right with the edge of my larger. Oh, okay. Okay, this is where you're really going to see my OCD come out here, because I got a little contraption to the left of me that you can't, I don't think you can see it. And it's getting in the way of me aligning my small tag. So I'm going to do the best I can. But for all of you at home, You want to just make sure that your tag is folded, it's aligned, that the top edge of the small tag is aligned with that placement stitch. And then what I'm going to do is take a piece of tape and tape that down. Now I'm going to tape this on a diagonal, because what's going to happen is I'm going to have a little like zigzag stitch out next, right along here, the top of our small tag. So I'm just not going to worry about the tape getting in the way. Again, I'm using a thread that matches my fabric. So I have a red felt here. I'm using red thread. Drop my needle down, and this is going to tape in place, or tack in place, I'm sorry. I may be a little off center. It looks almost like I'm a lot off center. Do not judge me. I'm doing the best I can with my contraptions over here. Alrighty, so at this point, I am all finished. You're finished, we're done. This is only a 10-step project. So again, quick and easy, great little tea bag bookmarks that we can make for our friends, our family, or like my magic man Lauren in the back who said, ooh, our book club people. We can make these for all of our wonderful buddies in our book club. I'm done. So at this point, I can I'm going to remove my hoop, and I'm going to remove my stabilizer and pull this out. So let's get this out of the way here.
Lots of Christmas gifts for these stocking stuffers.
Oh, we have people. Okay, so you are they are planning on using them.
Yeah.
Excellent. I think these are so great. Easy little. Oh, how cute would it be if you had like a little book with the bookmark in it already?
Yeah.
Whatever kind of hanging
insert into a birthday card.
Oh, a little insert into a birthday card. Somebody wrote that they're going to use that for just for that. I love that. Those are such good ideas. I love this. I'm glad I asked. I have ideas now.
What color bobbin are you using?
Oh, okay. I was asked what color bobbin am I using. I'm using a white bobbin. You are not going to, ooh, I can't show you the back of this because I got, when it hiccuped earlier, it made a little boo-boo. You don't want to see it. I'm just using a white bobbin right now because for the educational purpose. But if I was really getting into this and if I was making this for someone, then what I would probably do is wind my own bobbin to match the fabric that's on the back. And then, you know, you have that nice color. You're not seeing the white on the back. But just for educational purposes, I'm using the white one. All right, I'm going to tear my tearaway stabilizer away from my design here. Make sure you do that carefully. You don't want to be too aggressive and rip something. Oh. Hang on, I'm going to have to cut this too.
Yeah, you have to cut a little bit away.
Yeah, I'm going to have to cut it. Now you might have to, I know, you might have to, Laura and I are talking to each other because I'm like, oh, I don't want to rip this. So, you know, when you're working with your friends and they're like, oh, make sure you cut that, do this, do that, do this, yada, yada, yada. That's what's happening here right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut my, whatchamacallit down. I actually think I made another oopsie, but I'm not going to tell you what I did. That's okay. All right, I'm going to cut my tea bag bookmark down. Okay, I kind of have it all here. Stabilizers removed for the most part. I have a little piece kind of stuck in here that you can't really see, but I'll work that out later on. We're going to trim this down. You can use a pair of straight scissors, cut away, you know, your excess fabric, and cut your stabilizer away using this. You want to leave about 1/8 of an inch of seam allowance all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut this out. Tape, I got a piece of tape here that I don't need. All right, now the other thing you could do too, which might make these look a little bit more fun, is you could use like a pinking shear. Or you could use, you know, one of those, you know, you have the craft scissors that have really fun shapes at the end of them. Oh, the other thing too, you really want to be careful of this, is you're going to notice I'm cutting, when I cut the top here, I don't want to cut my string. So when you are trimming along the top, my recommendation is to kind of fold that back so you see where the string is, cut through here. And then you can do the same thing for the back side. So I'm going to take a little bit of time and do that right now. My goodness. While you're all I keep forgetting. I bet most of you are doing this with me, so you're doing the same thing I am. Because whenever I stop talking and have to concentrate, I'm like, oh my goodness, in my head, I'm like, are they waiting for me? Like, are you waiting for me? And then of course it's awkward because no one's actually in this room with me except for my magic man in the back making all the magic happen. And I'm not going to lie to you, today I cannot cut along this top portion for some reason. I cannot cut this out. So I'm exposing, I can see that some of the stabilizer is exposed behind here. I'm so nervous that I'm going to cut like this string. Oh God, I cut part of it, but we're okay. We're okay. We're okay. Let's get the back of it here. You can move along with us. If you kind of don't forget, we have our new, whatchamacallits, our new wall calendars.
And just remind them that that's different than what's in the all access.
Yep, we have our brand new wall calendar. You can pre-order it on our website. It's a pre-order through the end of November for $24.95. It's a wall calendar, you know, like the flip one. You'll be able to flip it, change it every month. It comes with designs. There's going to be 12 designs included. It is not, I do want to remind everybody that's watching this, it is not, oh my God, I'm so like scared that I'm going to cut this. I'm so scared I'm going to cut this string that I like can't do it. But it is not the same calendar collection that's in the November All Access. Two completely different things that I'm talking about. The wall calendar is ready for pre-order. It's not even out yet. It's the 2021 wall calendar. So if you want to get your hands on that, you can look it up on our website. You can order that.
We do have a 2021 calendar though, in the November All Access.
Yes, the November All Access. I think people are asking about, well, is this the same? There's a 2021 calendar in the November All Access book. So if you are an All Access member and you're like, what is she talking about? Do I need to pre-order this calendar that she's talking about? Maybe, because it's not the same thing. So what's in your November All Access is not the same as the 2021 wall calendar I am talking about. This is something that's going to be coming out in January of 2021. And you can pre-order that through the end of November. Sorry, y'all probably think I'm so crazy because it's taken me about 1,011 years to cut this out. But I did, I'm going to admit it now. I'm not going to show you. But I did make a boo-boo. So I'm trying to just get this all cut out to look like I didn't do anything wrong when I show you the finished project. And I'm trying to talk to you and give you instructions at the same time. And I just learned that I am just a really good multitasker today. Trying to do this for all of y'all. Okay, so when you cut it out, you will have your finished tea bag bookmark. Now, of course, hang on, I gotta get mine all shaped up. Now, you might have, you know, like I mentioned, I had some thread tails when I had a little hiccup threading my machine earlier. I had some like hiccups with the threads in there, and they don't look really, you're not going to look really pretty to you. You might not really like them, but that's an easy fix. You can just kind of trim that up, give it a haircut, make all that look nice. Do you have another, I see you looking at me. Do you have a question?
Well, somebody was asking why you don't have your thread cap on.
Oh, that is an excellent question. Okay, somebody asked why I don't have my thread cap on. And that is because this particular machine that I am using does not like the thread cap to be used with the Floriani threads. So I am working on a baby lock machine, and the baby lock machines don't like the thread cap with Floriani. So now, you know, don't quote me on everything I'm saying. I just know for certain when I'm using this machine and I'm working with Floriani threads, the spool cap tends to, my thread gets caught on it breaks needles, messes up the design. I don't like it. So guess what? I don't even use it. I don't need to use it. So a lot of you who may have a similar machine, you may have experienced the same thing. Or if you've come to Anita Goodesign events, you may have been, your educator may have told you about that as well, because we've experienced that a lot. All right, so I've trimmed up. I've given my little guy haircut here. Oh, he's got a little, hang on, he's got little hangers in the front. Actually, no, I'm going to need to line this up. So I need to stop giving this haircut. I can do this after with you. And then you have, look how cute. Look how cute our lovely little tea bag bookmarks are. I don't know if you can see mine. You know what you should do is you should all post yours and put it on our Facebook page so we can see everything that you made today. Right? Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you all had a wonderful time learning about our tea bag bookmarks, stitching these out with me. Thank you so much for joining me today on this wonderful Wednesday. Don't forget, if you still need to pick up the tea bag bookmark collection, it is available through 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and for $10 off, so you can pick that up for $19.95, and you have the rest of the evening to do so. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of you again and working with you in another live stitch out, and we'll see all of you later. Thank you again for joining me. I'm Jen, if you didn't catch me at the beginning there. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend, and don't forget to share your tea bag bookmarks with us. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.